Alright travellers, let's take a look here at the Sofirn SC31 Pro. Now this is actually a 2000 lumen flashlight, which is actually very compact for being 2000 lumens. And I'll show you what I mean, because over here, and I did previously review this one, this is the Wolben C2. This one is also 2000 lumens, and they actually have a lot of similarities. You can see they both have a button. They have a nice clip here, but you can see that this one is significantly thicker and it is heavier. Although this one does double as being able to be a power bank. So you can actually plug a phone or something into this port, output the battery from this into charging a device like your phone, for example, which is actually a really nice, handy little feature. Setting that one aside for a moment, this one here actually has a lot of different features built into it. There is two settings for this light. One is like a pro setting with really a whole bunch of advanced features, and then the setting I currently have it on is just like the basic setting, which you have like an on off by a single click, and then double clicking gives you the full brightness and so forth. But the pro settings allow you to access things like a candle mode and like lightning, so all these different kind of flashing modes and stuff that I actually haven't tried yet, but it is something you can do with this one. And so for the price, I think this one is actually really interesting because it does offer a lot of advantages in terms of customizability, and it being so small and light, and it also charges here with USB-C. It's just a really nice little flashlight, and it has actually an interesting thing here where I often complain about this clip being the wrong way around, because if you wanted to, put that on your cap or something, you would have to take this off, and you can take this clip off. But then if you do, there's no way to clip it here, so you couldn't really like flip it around. But this one has an interesting feature where you can actually unscrew the top part like so, and then unscrew the bottom part. And then you can essentially flip the head around to the bottom like this, and then you can attach the front facing part of the light there, so then you can put that onto a baseball cap. So that is actually a really handy feature to have. So another cool thing about this particular flashlight is it has these little LEDs inside the button, and in the dark that does help you find it to press it, and it is a nice texture which helps you press it. It's kind of soft as well, so very nice to find it and use the button on this one. Now the front element here, the lens, does get pretty hot when you're using it, especially on the highest brightness setting of 2000 lumens, but I found that even using it about half brightness, it doesn't get too hot, and it is still quite bright and usable at that level. Now the other good thing about this particular one is that it's the same size as a lot of the Nightcore lights, and so I bought this Nightcore red lens filter, and that actually fits really perfectly over the end there, and I'll just show you some footage of what that looks like using this filter. I will mention that this particular filter, although it says it's heat resistant, it gets pretty hot when it's on the highest brightness setting. So you got to be really careful not to touch the red lens when it is being used, because it retains a lot of the heat in this front red part. The edge here is actually a rubber, so that doesn't actually get hot. Now, when I was looking on AliExpress, which is, like a cheap retailer in China, I found these other accessories that fit on the end. So this is a white filter. So you can use it kind of like like a glow stick or something like that. Or if it was in candle mode, this could be like something that would brighten up the room, or a tent. So it could be good for camping. And it's just a soft silicone, so that is easy to change. And the red one here is also interesting. That allows you to make it into kind of a candle or like a softer light. I do prefer the red lights when you're using it at night because it doesn't hurt your eyes as much. So those are a couple of other options. I'll put the link for these in the description, as well as for this lens filter. So overall, a really nice little flashlight, and it is very reasonably priced, very similar to the Wolben C2, which I did previously review. And it is kind of similar size to that one, and it has a lot of great features, very bright and very usable. And I definitely recommend checking it out if you're in the market for a nice compact little useful flashlight.